didn't it? What a no. Oh. Oh, okay, okay. Okay. Hello there, everyone. Happy Monday. It's been too long. It's been much too long. I had just a little freak out there because I realized I actually had left the Facebook tab here unmuted playing, and so I was worried the whole thing I was playing there was coming through doubled or something. But no, I'm pretty sure that was not the case because I had the microphone down, of course. Thank you, myself. You did good. Uh, well, here we are once again. How are we doing today, y'all? If anybody, everybody, anyone who's out there, just tell me what's going on. Tell me how you're feeling on this fine, amazing, and optimistic Monday. It is Monday, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check. It is Monday. You know, there's a good chance I could have just thought it was a Monday and until this moment didn't even know. You never can be too sure. But then again, what can we be sure of even at all these days other than that we are not so sure of where we stand or where we sit in front of our little addiction devices, whether it be some crazy ass smartphone or some crazy ass smart frickin' what do you even call this? Oh, right, a keyboard, a piano, an instrument, of course. I was trying to think of something funnier to call it. Didn't come to me. If I happen to seem just a little out of it, it's just because, well, I may try and then just address, I guess, why I haven't been streaming here for a minute. Let's see how many. It's been a many weeks now since I last streamed. Oh, hey, we got what's up, what's up? How's it going over in the upper regions of the hemisphere today, huh? Is it sunny all day, I bet? But yeah, I just haven't been streaming because when I want to do this and I want to do it right, and if I'm not in, you know, a good place for it, whether it be physically or mentally, I have to be able to make that choice, and I just I'm here today because I'm feeling relatively decent enough to do it today. The truth is, I want to be able to speak into this black hole of a freaking lens and try and bring some uppity spirit, bring some positivity to this not very positive scene we got going on of life they call it. Um, that's the thing. I don't want to be, here just to spread and inflame more useless negativity because truly, not all negativity is useless, really. But I want to. That's not how I want to be useful. Some people, when fighting for causes, we need. There are a lot of times it's the assholes that end up getting a lot of things done, and we need tough people who are willing to just show their anger, and I have a lot of it, but I don't want it to come off. I want it to be something better than what the current bar is set because it's just so low. I don't think just because we have a low bar of inflammation. Look, I like see we're already getting to bridge the gap of how I titled this without even intending to inflammation. Because see, that's it's almost like sounds like a medical term, like inflammation of the body. but inflammatory, just um, excess, like I'd rather do something constructive because we can put that same energy into something constructive if we choose to, and it's hard, but not much in this world is easy, not much. Um, so yeah, I'm it's I don't want you guys to be you know concerned about anything, um, because things are what they are, in a way, and we can do everything we can. It's the thing. Sometimes, all right. Let me look at my notes. See, I have a whole kind of metaphor. I'm actually literally. I'm trying to ramble here for a second before I go into it, but me just rambling is already tying into it. So I gotta think about this for a second. Make sure I'm okay. Well, yeah. Time, money, uh, oxygen. What a what a whole host of needs we have and think we need and have, and oxygen isn't valued as high as paper money in this world, unfortunately. But we all need to breathe, and sometimes we just need to breathe, and that's all we need to do because it's too much sometimes. And this is the thing: whether we have stuff that is hard to deal with, that's physical or mental. In a way, it's all you know super hyper relative in ways that we can't even like. That's our mental health can affect our physical health, and in turn, our physical health can then affect our mental health again, and it can be a cycle. Even though uh, some things that happen aren't, some things can start mental. So much things. Most things that we worry about start here. Um, but some things that we worry about don't exactly start here. They react right here because it's happening right in front of us, whether it's the world right in front of us in the world we see, or this world of craziness going on inside our molecules and our atoms, our microbes. It's the reason I have titled this stream today sillily. Is sillily a word? Silly like? Very silly of me to call it this, but I did because I don't care if I'm silly. Because the world is pretty silly if you look at it. MOBIN time. It's MOBIN time. Not Morbin time. Because MOBIN time. Cause Mob. Not. It's not Morbius I'm thinking about right now. It's just the Mo. I'm just thinking of Mobius at the moment. Mobius strip. And you see, I could just pull up what it looks like. But actually, I'll give you guys an incentive to know what it looks like, because this idea of a thing happens to be mentioned in a very recent popular movie. Is in Avengers Endgame. Tony brings up a Mobius strip, which then later in one of the shows there's a character named Mobius. It's interesting that idea is in this, but I've actually been there's a guy named Alan Watts who talks about this Mobius strip idea, and it's interesting. I played some of his stuff on a stream a while ago, but I've been thinking about it a lot because the principle of it is what it looks like is kind of this picture like a big almost rubber band bracelet type looking thing, but there isn't, instead of it being there's an outside and an inside and there's two edges, there is only one side, and it curves inward, and it's like a little never ending. There's no outside edge and there's no inside edge. It almost feels like a trick. But the point of it is the only reason we have a defined idea, term, or whatever definition understanding of whatever word you want to describe your understanding of the word that is trying to make an understanding of it. There is only a defined outside if there is an inside. And there is only a defined inside because there's an outside. Why do you call it the inside? Well, because it is inside. It's the when there's, see, that's the thing. We compartmentalize everything. And to great success sometimes in figuring out, you know, things, relative causes to each other, whether it's health or it's external and it's economics or whatever kind of, you know, studyable thing we have. It's all, we can accomplish wonders, but we compartmentalize it because to actually, like, you know, we have experts on every little part of the body, but we have that. There's a multitude of reasons, but it's like no one person can understand the entire body. It's not even a like, you have to become an expertise, and even in your expertise, it's a thing. Becoming an expert in something, this doesn't even apply to how this applies to, you know, an art and craft. It's like, it's still because you are focusing on a tree, you know, it is impossible for you to actually, like, see the forest. And that's a horrible way to say that metaphor. That one's already I want to exist. I just butchered that. However, like, everything is related to each other, and there's not very many experts on that. There's not many experts on how everything connects, because that's the whole picture. That's the whole thing that is really hard to grasp as us human little people. It's a giant world, and the more we learn, the more amazing feats we discover. So this is a quote by someone very intellectual. I don't remember. You can look it up though. It's like, the more we learn, the more we discover this world, the more we understand how much we really don't. And anyway, okay, now to bring this a bit into politics. See, I just kind of got all existential there. Sorry, I didn't mean to frighten anyone with the garble that didn't make sense. If that did make sense to you, I really hope so. But you see, talking about the body and the mind and everything being relative, that's the thing. It's inside and the outside, the psychological and the physical. They both are one in a way. It's a flowing system, kind of like a lot of things in this world, like how we do everything, you know. And that's the thing. A lot of people want to put blame on different things and different people for different issues. See, we see an issue in the body, and we're doing our best to understand it, doing our best to try and reduce the suffering of a person. And, you know, sometimes the littlest thing we can do actually ends up doing something amazing. We do have a say on things, even if, you know, everything in this world is a giant, crazy, flowing system, you know, that has a mind of its own and isn't really, you know, to our understanding, controlled or caused or you know, no one really has a say over their own body, the same way no one really has a say over the culture they're born into, the world order of power, and the flow of, that's the thing, we are in, if you were to look from space, you'd see us flowing like ants, because we are. Even though we live in our whole little moments, like, we do just have all these little moments, and that's what life really is. But we are this giant flowing thing that eventually will be, you know, forgotten. Or at least our generation, if you live on with your generation, like, nothing we do, like, look at this, now, MOBIN time, I gotta get back on track. The inside, the outside, see, our whole kind of world is kind of like a big um, uh, organism in a way, you know? Like, we do have a driving kind of psychology in our world. You can look at it actually in the world of all the world across all countries, or you can maybe try and compartmentalize it a little more, right? And look at a single country, you know. But really, all of them kind of function the same. So in a way, it's not that they all function the same, but there's the same incentives. We have the same incentives everywhere, and that leads to a psychology, the conscious part of trying to impact the whole. That is where power lies. That is in the halls of the Senate and Congress. That is in the halls of the White House, of the Supreme Court, and of all the government institutions and organizations that have a lot of power that is even secret from us, and we don't even get to see it. We just receive it. We, the populace, are the body. We are this kind of ever binded and reflective version of like what is being given to us, what is being sold to us, what our motivations are in this world, what we gotta look forward to, what we have to think, whether or not it's really based on anything true or meaningful, because there's a lot more meaningful in this world than just having a lot of money, you know? Like, money has a purpose, but it's been so inflated and so um, used as a tool for power solely. Like money is an idea that can make sense. So that's the thing. You have all this money. It's a measurement of wealth. Like you have a thermometer to measure the temperature. The thermometer isn't temperature. It's not the climate of the entire thing. That's not the thing. You're just using the temperature, the thermometer, to measure it. And so you have this money that's supposed to measure the value of something. We but we've lost that idea. That's the thing. We are so things have become so valueless and so cheap and so, you know, the goal is just to make more money. That's the goal. But that's the money is just supposed to be valuable for something. Like that's the thing you know trade in order to get a service or a you know an item that actually has value to you. You know, we have all of us have many different ideas of what can be valuable. So money's just supposed to be a tool for someone to get that valuable thing in their life. However, because we have just you know multiple reasons. And since we've been printing money since 1971 and just been giving all these massive subsidies over decades of time to all these corporations and creating this massive inequality, the chase is now just for the money, just for that power, because that's what it is. It's just ultimate power to not have a care in the world. When you're that rich, you don't have to worry about anything. Anything. So that is the driving force in our life to escape this hellish of struggle and pain and rushing and living paycheck to paycheck. That is the struggle because money is the answer to just not having to worry about anything. But what a gap that is. What a gap that is that most people will never be able to jump across. And few might. But it's becoming bigger and bigger ravine. It's more like a Grand Canyon now of a divide. But see, that's the thing. Where is so many people want to put blame on something? We compartmentalize things in a way to try and. That's the thing. Everything can be a good and a evil. Everything, every single thing has the capacity for both. Truly, and like a lot of people will compartmentalize things for one reason to put blame, to understandably try to like find that's the reason things are going wrong, that's the reason everything's messed up. And it's sometimes that mindset is how you get rid of the virus and get rid of a tumor, and you do save an organism. So it's not so much wrong, but it's not so much wholly right either, because that's the thing, is that the whole organism is the working thing, you know, and it is a ever reflection of itself. Like You know, like this is an argument a lot of people make. Is like, well, we have all the people in power who are corrupt and horrible. Well, isn't that just a symptom of being us? Like that's the best us humans can do, right? We're the people. If we had better people, wouldn't we just produce better leaders? And the truth is, leaders are what make change happen. And it's crazy how much one individual that is his own individual, because we're all different. We're all the same in that we're different. That's what makes us all the same. Is that we're all so variable, and whether it's because we have, you know, something spiritual in us that makes us our own person. If you believe we have a soul, maybe. But along with that, whoever you are on the inside and what that might be, if you believe that or don't, you are also the subject of whatever traumas and maybe amazing or catastrophic upbringing you have that you don't get to choose. Um, but so in this whole, it's not to blame. This is the thing. It's like, we all feel guilty. A lot of us feel really guilty. It's this human thing to blame ourselves, and you know what? It's because we do. Whether we see ourselves dually as an individual, but we also do feel this truth of ourselves as this whole kind of force, because that is the truth, that it is this this moving, no one leader, no matter how strong one leader can be, uh can have the whole influence of, or at least to this point has had the entire influence of the entire world. When people have tried to do that, that's when we go to war and we just create more chaos. So it isn't that we are just this continuing story of a populace. So that is like why we feel guilt, because in a way we feel responsible even though we shouldn't. It isn't no individual's fault. That's the point. That the blame isn't to be had on ourselves. And then you'd be like, are you going to say or the other people? And it's like, there are things we can do in this moment right now. But truthfully, every leader here has been the daughter and sons of people who have lived in this world, and possibly kings themselves and leaders themselves, and elite. It's this chain. And so we are now at a point where the chain is seeming to break, and people are putting new links on, and we're trying to make it a little bit of a healthier chain, or maybe just break it, because what's the metaphor of that? He's like, no, never mind. I'll butcher it. But there's a metaphor about netting a fish. I'm not gonna. I'll butcher it. Yeah, I don't know. We have all these contradicting ideas of ourselves and who we, put blame on and put praise on. Like I'm wearing this right now, this Hamilton shirt. Mr. Alexander B. Hamilton is his middle initial B. That'd be kind of funny. I don't know. But I got this shirt because there was a good show. It played good. It was like a really good show. Man, the talent, the writing, the execution of all of it. It was amazing, this show. It's a cool looking shirt, I think. However, I don't, I don't know if Hamilton uh, is the best of us. That's the thing. He is so much responsible for the systems we have today in a lot of ways. So there is, in terms of just being able to actually appreciate the life we have, whether we like it or not. It is the life we have. We have to appreciate, somebody like this. And in a way, you can appreciate all of the people who made our country and lives possible. However, they all, including this guy, have not the best things about them, in the sense that Hamilton specifically, Like, he's kind of the entire corruption we have of our system today. All it kind of stems from him. And maybe I don't know that. Here's the thing. I'm saying that so affirmatively, as if I were there, right? And that's what we do when we, say things. That's why I say able to enjoy a show like that, because it actually is not trying to be like, this is exactly what happened. That's like the whole point, kind of. Still able to appreciate things that have great themes on legacy and a lot of, great stuff, acknowledging that, of course, all these people weren't hip-hop rapping about the revolution, baby, taxation with no representation. I don't think there's a song about that. Actually, there probably was. I haven't listened to it in a while. But, I wonder how many fans or not fans I'm getting to hate me right now. Probably all of them. But that's okay. Yeah, like, here's the thing. I probably know nothing. All of us, how can we stand to know the full, like, encapsulation of any human being, whether they're living right now or back then? Even today, in the world of all this internet stuff, just getting to see people's lives in a way we haven't ever before, it still is not a whole picture. And we have this other human thing we do where we, like, latch onto people that we never have met. And see, I'm coming to the point where instead of, like, all these people I admire, and I have, we have these crazy admiration feelings for these heroes of ours. And it's like we love them. We feel so much pain, when they struggle, if they were to pass, like, as if we know these people, but we don't. I see, now I try to go, like, I love what this person has to say. I adore it. I love what this person does, what this person, means to me. But to know someone is a different thing. To fully know someone's intentions and their life and their effect is really hard to fully describe in a sentence or two, or even in a fucking novelty. There's a show on HBO, I think. It's John Adams. It's the John Adams show. Paul Giamatti plays John Adams. It's called John Adams, I'm pretty sure. It's great. And here's the thing. Even a show like that, obviously, has to make some leaps of logic, and it's trying to make a cohesive story out of what is just moments in life that happen. And that's what's so great about the show, is that it tries its best to capture that and really ground the founding fathers and ground the world they were in, and more what a lot of happened out of necessity than high virtue. Although there was some, like, high ass virtue, and there are things to be so admired about our country. One of the fact is that we can continually amend it. That was the whole point. The First Amendment, the thing we love so much, is an amendment. It wasn't in the Constitution. It's an amendment. We can do more. It's an amazing thing they did. However, at the time, that's why they gave the amendments, because they're like, yeah, so many things that, like, a lot of people want to do. They're like, no, the people aren't ready for that. That's the thing. The people. This is where we come back to the inside and the outside. In the John Adams show, it does paint Alexander Hamilton as really, like, one of the villains of America, truthfully. Like, he is like the crony capitalism corruption of the political system and the parties. Like, they paint him to be like the starter of that, in America at least. That's the thing, because party politics like that, and the corruption and the obsession with the financial end of our economy, that's the thing. You can look at economy in a lot of ways. We only think of economy in the money sense. We don't think of the economy as fucking human happiness or something, or how, we actually function and affect each other's lives. Because guess what? At the time, that's not what anybody was even close to thinking about. So Alexander Hamilton, while we can blame him for a lot, he's a reflection of the time period and the people who, like, really pushed for the progressive things we think about in our Constitution and our, the Bill of Rights we have. Like, those weren't guaranteed. That's the thing. It is why it's amazing, because we have them. But it was, the people weren't, the people still are. We're not all that kindly in ways, are we? That's the thing. We don't want to accept that weird truth of that, like, what, the just kind of, here's the thing. I know it sounds like I'm getting really down here, but that's changed more in this time than in any time in history. In all these time periods that existed long ago, you know, like not even that long ago, really. But in terms of what we have now, in terms of like what we are allowed to say now and what we talk about now, like, okay, the amendment on slavery, just for one, like Lincoln got that through, and it like really was like a miracle that happened. It's so amazing. But every time we have these pushes for change, it is at a time where it's a fight, because um, we are easily fooled, us people. We are. And in today's age of the internet, it is dually, again, everything is equally as good as bad, or can be. It can be as equally as bad as it can be good. Most things. Like, this whole internet shebang has made more information out there than ever before. And so people can really check their facts and feel good about what they know and what their argument is. And at the same time, that wealth of information, that just plethora of unlimited information, it's so overwhelming, and is we are prey to fall to a lot of foolish things. And at the end of the day, truth gets lost and miscoupled, because we end up believing what if someone believes something, the truth of what you believe is the truth. That's the thing. You believe it's the truth. It's all belief, and there is some objective truth out there on the world, but we're not so like. Here's the thing. We are a whole. Like, tensions are ramping up, and it's not worthwhile to really blame at all. And you can, it doesn't mean you don't think we should, we can take actions to hold those accountable we deem should be held accountable. I'm not saying, oh, just stop, just be nice to all these, rich corporations and these lobbyists who just have a chokehold on our organism right now. That's the thing. Right now, while the body is suffering and going crazy, and the masses of us as a giant people are kind of losing grip in some ways. Things are reaching some breaking points, and in fact, I don't want to be the guy. Here's the thing: I don't want to be the guy to just say bad news and be the harbinger of bad news. It's partly why I've not been on here as much, just because I don't want to be super duper negative. Only super negative, not super duper though. I don't want to be super negative. I don't want to be just another, loud noise of sadness. Even though we have to be able to express our noises of sadness. Even though that's all the case, this is the thing, I just have to be honest. That's why when I come here, I want to be just frank about, how I'm feeling. I can only speak for myself, really, right? We all can only speak for our individual. That receives everything differently. We all have our own systems and methods and games we play. Whether we know we're playing them or not, we're all playing so many games in this whole thing that we've made up as a people. This whole thing. But that's the thing. In this thing we've made up as people, and all these numbers and all these, systems of reliance and uncertainty and unsafety, like when we repealed all those laws like Glass-Steagall to prevent the housing crash of 1929 that led to the Great Depression, the housing market. Do you understand? It was the same. We had this, another one just like that in 2008, except we didn't address it and put any of those laws back in place that Clinton and Bush and Reagan repealed. And now we're about to maybe be on our third of these crashes. Coming soon to a theater near you. So, the whole of us is hurting a lot. And the reason it's hurting is because we have this the mental aspect of our organism, which is those control the motors in Washington and in Lansing and in all of our points of corruption. There is, see, we have the power right now, actually, already. We already have the power, if we so wanted to just make a much more compassionate life that would also be cheaper. Just letting you know, just happens to be the truth. That it'd actually be cheaper to be less destructive. Happens to be the truth. Although the military contractors wouldn't agree with that. They'd be like, I'm making way less money than I was back in the day, back in Iraq. And now Ukraine, now we're sending so much stuff to Ukraine. Hey. But we have like a the psychological part of our organism as a people has a what do you call it? A complex. We have a lie, a multitude of lies that have been told to the people. They tell themselves why they're doing this. We have so many reasons that we continue to push the status quo of neoliberalism and Reaganomics. That's what we're living in, is that era of what matters in a society. You just give large, giant subsidies, aka we're the government and we're just going to give these companies more money. We are giving them money. We're just giving it to them. I know that the people voting for me right now actually are wholly against, and we tell them we believe it. We lie to them and say we're not for, just fucking putting money into the people. Well, except for the people who are really on our side and are already making that much money. We're going to give them more money. And by the way, do you know that like 25% of all these corporations, these massive mega corporations, 25% of them, about a quarter of them, are only surviving on these. If they didn't have these subsidies today and this constant umbilical cord from the government, they would die, because in this apparent laissez-faire, free market economics system, you shall fall if you fail. But no, we tell them you can stay with us because we're buddy. You know, we got it all day gone here. Hey. But yeah, so that's how our current system works. And then, anytime there is talk of systems being funded to help the people, like like we did just like barely 50-ish years ago or more. That was the deal. We're coming from the New Deal era, where it was on both sides of the aisle. You were still talking about what to do about helping the populace, because we just have this austerity politics now, and the Reaganomics of all has bled into the whole world. We have this overseas. The movements of today that are being led by young people is anti-austerity. I could not love a name of a movement more than anti-austerity, because it's not even about, you can be austere as a young person or an old person. It's everywhere. Fucking Pete Buttigieg is the most austere dude I've seen in a while. But it's this obsessive decorum love, and we must be, this is what being a good, decent person is not swearing and being all nice in our little Senate buildings. Meanwhile, we're just gonna vote here to bomb Somalia. But don't you call me a fucking piece of shit to my face, 'cause you are disgusting. I can't believe you'd say something like that. I can't believe it. So, yeah. We could do amazing things if and when we now decide to see ourselves as a whole that could actually enjoy life if we wanted to. Could be like, there's so much amazing potential for like just joy, bro. Have a joyous like world, a little more joyous, you know. We'll get there. We'll get there. It's hard being an optimist these days. But, you know, that's the thing. We can't control everything. An optimist must recognize that. However, blind pessimist won't look and see into history, into recent history, you know? And see that at times when they were harder, at times when it was impossible, absolutely not gonna happen, son, we did amazing things. We did. You know why? Because we're human fucking beings. And we're absolutely not ever gonna acknowledge our own, you know, hypocrisies. But we are absolutely gonna just do amazing things and terrible things. And you know, everyone's trying to say where we're gonna keep going. But you don't know, and I don't know either. We only know what's right here in this little moment right here. You see it? You see this moment? And there it went. It's gone. And now we have this one. Ah, look at that. That's all we got, is this little moment. I don't know what that was, but that was kind of fun. I know today's been kind of an interesting, maybe not interesting, maybe that's not the right word, but, you know, there's so many things to talk about. I think the last time I talked, it was right after Buffalo. I don't think I've talked at all about Uvalde. I think I've talked at all about. There's another one in Oklahoma, in Tulsa, at a hospital. a lot of bleakness out there. But there always has been. It's just new versions of it. Something to keep that keeps me a little more at peace is that here's the thing. You know, I know a lot of people who like don't. A lot of people, and you know, people change their minds. Maybe they won't, though. I don't know. Maybe they will. It's not for me or anyone to say. But I know people who are dead set on, you know, like a lot of people who are dead set on not having children because this world, you don't want to put them into it, you know. You don't want to give a child a feeling like they. It's so sad, but I understand it. I don't know, but even though our time here is pretty rough, not a lot of prospects for the coming generations. You know, we only know that because we're not ignorant to it. That's the gift of ignorance that previous generations of human fucking beings have had, is that back in the old days when it was so rough and so unbearable, like we can't even think to live in old times, like, you know, imagine living in like 1723. Just imagine for a moment. Like, we can't even fathom it. But the people at that time and every time before, they only knew what they got, and they were happier for it, I think. You know, they were able to be more in the moment. We aren't able to be as in the moment because we're so taken out of it by these things. We're so taken to another moment that is reminded of us, hey, here's the greater moment you're in, because there is. We equally are living in this little moment right here, just this one. It's the only one that matters. It's this right here, right now. And that moment right now is equally happening in a moment right now in the whole world. And we're all witness to it. Part of it in a way. Some of us more than others. Before you're sitting on, we got some different campaign materials for, not me, for some other candidates actually I just met. County commissioner, state representative, been meeting some folks. Imagine someone just never finished the song, just kept going forever. Anyone saying anything? If someone says something, I'll respond. But, oh yeah, oh yeah. Hold up. Oh yes. Yeah, that guy literally just stepped out from Z just to become a lobbyist. Yeah. Actually, yeah, we're almost at an hour here. I might look into that next stream. That's something good to talk about, probably. Appreciate the mention there. Yeah, you know what? I just kind of feel like chilling for the last few minutes, so feel just chill with me and just have a good time. With that, we're coming up to the end of the hour here. I really hope you enjoyed this little dance of ours. Nothing like good old H2O to let you know that every little thing is gonna be alright.